28-23, the final score from Philadelphia and Lincoln Financial Field as the Dallas Cowboys fall on the road in a classic of a game, but one that really feels like the Cowboys had a shot to win it, and they certainly did down the stretch. CeeDee Lamb stopped a couple yards short of the goal line, but really before that is where things went wrong for the Cowboys. We'll talk about it for you here on The First Word, presented by Dr. Pepper. Glad you're with us. We have Isaiah Stanback. We have Nate Newton, Nicole Hutchison. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Glad you're with us. Ultimately, this game came down to every play. There are so many plays you can go back with and mark it, highlight it, underline, whatever it is. It mattered. Every play mattered in this game, and ultimately the Cowboys just didn't make the play when they needed to.
Yeah, I mean, this is first of all, it was one heck of a game. One heck of a battle by the Dallas Cowboys. Philadelphia Eagles brought it. This was the battle royale that you really expected here in the NFC East division. But ultimately, you just mentioned it, Kyle. It really came down to the possessions. And, Dallas Cowboys on third down were 40%, fourth down 60%, goal-to-goal 75%. And then you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they were 100% on fourth down and in the red zone and goal-to-goal. And that's really what it came down to. Every possession mattered, and Philly just executed just a little bit better.
We told you before when this game started, it's going to come down to our offensive line versus their defensive line. Brandon Graham came up big towards the end of the game. Jalen Carter came up big with sacks. That threw us back a ways. But you know what? My hat's off to Dak, because I believe as long as Dak continue to play like this and he can find his big guy player in CeeDee Lamb, I think we'll always be in a battle. But right here, I think our offensive line just did not hold up in the end.
Yeah, for me, I think, of course, I'm proud of the guys for the resilient effort, the valiant effort. But again, valiant effort does not win ball games. Yeah. And like you guys mentioned, it came down to the details. Dak right inside, I think he caught the ball right inside the line. So that was one minor detail. Illegal formation, then you have them lining up in the neutral zone. So it came down to details for me and what it came down for them for this game.
Well, you talk about it. It's a game of inches. Yeah. The Luke Schoonmaker catch called short of the goal line on 4th and goal. That could have been a touchdown. There's points on the board. You go for it on 4th down there instead of kicking a field goal, taking the points. That would have been 3 points on the board. You just kick a field goal down the stretch at that point. All of it's hindsight 2020, absolutely. But ultimately you learned about your football team. One, you can compete in the big games. I don't want to hear it. I really don't, in terms of Cowboys can't win big games. Yeah. They were there in the end. And I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for the Cowboys, but they were there. They had a chance to win. They played well enough to win the game. They just didn't make the plays all the way through. When you look at games like this, you learn about your ball club.
Yes, you do.
You got to take the positives and build off of them. You got to take the negatives and negate them moving into the rest of the schedule.
And then Dallas Cowboys have a lot of positives to take away from this game. You talk about a team that was facing against one of the, honestly, the best team or statistically in the game, and that in the Philadelphia Eagles. They were down by 11 points midway through the fourth quarter, and they found a way to come down to the last possession where they could have won the ball game. So you learn a lot in terms of resilience, in terms of your ability to battle, overcome adversity. But it just, again, like you can't put yourself at a disadvantage. I think penalties-wise, they're pretty much even along the way, but it just came down to the plays.
Yeah, 10 penalties each for each one. One with 83, it was Cowboys, and the other one was 98. So it was tick and tack. But you know what? Cowboys, you can build off of this.
Yep. Yeah, I'm proud of the guys also because you're finally starting to see that run game get going a little bit. You saw Tony Pollard, Rico Dowdle have some big runs, and you're also getting to see what Jake Ferguson can really do. 7 receptions for 10 targets. Michael Gallup had some big catches in that third quarter. So you're finally seeing the guys who haven't gotten that many snaps and played that much or had some positive snaps actually get some positive reps. So.
Yeah, it was one of those games where you have so many guys that had an impact. I mean, Jalen Tolbert made an impact. Jake Ferguson was great in this matchup. CeeDee Lamb had 11 catches for 191 yards. You just wish it was 196 or 197 down there at the stretch, and would have had an all-time great moment. There's still a long way to go into this season. We're going to break it down for you even more as we go into the night. We have Cowboys OT coming up at 7 o'clock Central Time, and also Cowboys Game Night at 10 p.m. Central on DallasCowboys.com. Lots to talk about in this one as the Cowboys fall on the road to Philadelphia. 28-23, the final score. That does it for The First Word, presented by Dr. Pepper. For Isaiah, for Nate, for Nicole, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll see you for Cowboys OT coming up at 7 p.m. Central.